Welcome to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. This is Zach Frazier as we are getting set to start Game 3 of a three-game series between the Idaho Falls Chukars and your Provo Angels. So that's right, it means it's an elimination game. Idaho Falls lost Game 1 14-13 as your boys squeaked out a win up at McDermott Field last night, a 2-1 pitcher's duel that went in favor of the Idaho Falls Chukars. So this is what you play for, the opportunity to go to a championship, and it all comes down to tonight. The big news up north is that the Billings Mustangs swept the Great Falls White Sox in somewhat of a surprising series. Billings beat Great Falls 9-4 last night to sweep that two-game set. And so the winner of tonight's game will head to Billings for Game 1 of the Pioneer League Championship Series on Saturday night in Billings, Montana. On the hill tonight for the Provo Angels is the right-hander Francisco Cordova. Cordova on the regular season 2-5 with a 5.37 ERA. He walked 26, struck out 33, and had a 285 opponent's batting average. While his numbers may indicate some struggles, he was one of the Angels' more dominant pitchers coming down the stretch. And the Angels are very confident with their big righty on the mound. Facing off against Cordova will be Luis Cota. Cota finished 2-1 on the year with a 5.81 ERA. Having thrown 48 innings, he walked 21, struck out 40, and opponents hit 311 against him. Cota last played for South Mountain Community College and is one of a trio of talented right-handers for the Idaho Falls Chukars in their starting rotation. And having talked to many of the Angels players today, many are confident and excited for tonight's game, excited to come back and hit the ball and get them off to a strong start. So we're going to take a break, come back with the national anthem and the starting lineups in tonight's Game 3 between the visiting Idaho Falls Chukars and your Provo Angels. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. We are ready to get going here on a beautiful night in Provo, Utah. It's about 75 degrees. A couple of clouds in the sky, but nothing threatening as the sun is starting to set. Again, the mountains as the backdrop to the outfield wall here in Provo. Blowing up right now with red and yellow leaves all over as fall approaches here in the Mountain West. Let's take a look at the Idaho Falls starting lineup. Leading off will be Geraldo Valentin. Batting second will be first baseman Brad Hayes. Batting third will be the left fielder Alexander Bautista. Batting fourth will be the designated hitter Billy Butler. Batting fifth will be right fielder Brian McFall. Batting sixth will be the third baseman Mario Lison. Batting seventh will be second baseman Eddie Solis. Batting eighth will be the center fielder Darwinson Salazar. And batting ninth will be the catcher Felipe Del Rosario. And for your Provo Angels, let's start in the outfield, where Mike Perdomo gets the start again in left field. Perdomo, the veteran on this club, looking to pick up a championship in his second year in Provo. Richard Giannotti gets the start in center field, and J.R. Renz, another Provo veteran, gets the start in right. At third base is Nate Sutton. At shortstop, league MVP Sean Rodriguez. At second, Alexi Casilla. No relation to the Florida Marlins second baseman. Alexi Casilla getting the start at second base, filling in for the injured Josh LeBlanc. Behind the dish is catcher Tim Duff, who gets his third straight start. Still on that situation because of the lower back injury to catcher Ben Johnson. And as we mentioned before, on the hill for the Angels, the big right-hander from Colorado, Mexico, Francisco Cordova. So this is what you play for, folks, an opportunity to go to the championship series. And the Angels, the best team in the Southern Division in both halves. The Chukars, the second-place team in both halves, falling behind the Provo Angels. So the two best teams made it to the playoffs. And here they are ready to go as Geraldo Valentin digs in on the right side of the plate. Valentin in the lineup tonight as the shortstop takes a ball one and down low and away. Behind the dish for the umpires is Roy Proner, and the field is Mike Lusky. The pitch from Cordova, the 1-0, popped up on the right side. Cliff Remley will give chase into foul territory, and he will make the catch about a foot away from the fence. So 2 pitches, 1 out to get the game going here for the Angels. Valentin to be followed by Brad Hayes and Alexander Bautista. Considerably smaller crowd tonight than was in the park last night, but more and more people continue to fill in as tickets were free today in the community. Brad Hayes went 1 for 2 last night with a walk, a sacrifice bunt as he takes ball 1 outside. Hayes also from the right side. The Chukars in their traditional gray road uniforms with maroon lettering. The pitch, a curveball, called ball 2. As Cordova is still trying to find the strike zone of Proner. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. The pitch, fastball that misses down low as it squeaks through Tim Duff's glove. And the count is now 3-0. Proner, of course, was the field ump last night. A controversial play at first base. The 3-0 catches the inside corner, and the count's now 3-1. Cordova, very slow delivery. It doesn't look like he's throwing very hard, but the ball gets there in a hurry. The 3-1 misses the outside corner, and fans starting to wonder where this strike zone is. He was all around the plate in that particular at-bat. But nevertheless, Brad Hayes gets a 1-out walk, and that'll bring Alexander Bautista to the plate. Bautista in left field tonight, as he has been for both nights of this playoff series. Again, from the right side of the plate, there's now a left-handed bat in the Chukars lineup. First pitch, again, very close to the plate, and called ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch from Cordova, swing and a miss, strike 1. Bautista gives Cordova a strike. Count now even at 1 apiece. Cordova looks in and gets his sign from Duff. The infield at medium depth with Remley holding the runner on. The pitch catches the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So it's apparent right now, at least for this part of the game, that Proner will give the inside corner. As I was saying, Proner was the umpire in a controversial play involving Alexi at first base last night that potentially cost the Angels an opportunity to score a tying run. And Cordova catches the inside corner with a called strike 3. A big breaking curveball that Bautista didn't even offer at. And he walks back to the dugout, a strikeout victim. That'll bring the league's best hitter to the plate, Billy Butler. Of course, Butler won the batting title in the Pioneer League with a .373 average this year. The pitch, a fastball that catches the corner, strike 1. So Cordova realizes very quickly that he's probably not going to get the outside corner with Proner behind the plate, and has started working the inside corner. The 0-1. This time misses outside, ball 1. Brad Hayes stands at first base. He reached on a 1-out walk. He's being held on by Cliff Remley. The outfield is deep right now for Butler. Of course, Butler pounded out 10 home runs with 68 RBIs this year. The pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball to Nate Sutton at third base. He'll play the hop. The long throw across the diamond. It'll be scooped by Cliff Remley, and there's 3 out. So we head to the bottom of the first. No runs, 1 walk. But the runner is stranded for the Idaho Falls Chukars. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. We're set to start the bottom of the first inning with Alexi Casilla to lead things off for the Angels. Nate Sutton will bat second. Sean Rodriguez third. Caleb Mayer getting the start tonight at DH. Cliff Remley batting fifth at first. Catcher Tim Duff will bat sixth. J.R. Renz will bat seventh. Perdomo eighth and Giannotti ninth. The pitch catches the outside corner from Luis Cota, called strike 1 to Casilla. Cota on the air, 2-1 with a 5.81 ERA. Opponents hit .311 against the right-hander. The 0-1, slapped foul down the left field line and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. Casilla joined the club late, hit .333 in the regular season. In the playoffs, is hitting .286 with 1 RBI and a couple of walks. Has certainly been a nice addition in the situation with Josh LeBlanc. LeBlanc, of course, hurt his thumb in Game 1 of this series in the second inning and is listed as day to day. The 0-2 just misses, and the count now 1-2. So Chukars pitchers having as difficult a time trying to figure out the strike zone as were the Angels. Bronner behind the plate, Mike Lusky in the field on a warm fall night here in Provo. The 1-2 called strike 3 as Casilla goes down on strikes. And that'll bring third baseman Nate Sutton to the plate. Sutton for the playoffs, hitting .429 with 3 hits, 2 of them doubles, and 2 RBIs. So, certainly been a nice bat in the Angels lineup. The pitch from Kota catches the outside corner, strike 1. Had a chance to talk with Johnny Rodriguez, the father of Sean, who's out here watching tonight. And he said that the team looked like it had that ready look. The pitch is lined foul back to the screen. And the count is 0-2. Of course, the Angels looking to advance to the championship series. They lost last year to Billings, and Billings would be the opponent again this year. The pitch, the 0-2, slap to the shortstop, and Geraldo Valentin picks it out of his glove, but Sutton beats it out. So Valentin had a hard time getting the transition from his glove to his hand, and the throw was late, so Sutton beats out an infield hit. And that'll bring Sean Rodriguez, the shortstop, to the plate. Rodriguez on the playoffs hitting .400. He has a slugging percentage of 1.200, 1,200 slugging percentage in the playoffs. Kota from the stretch position kicks and delivers. Misses outside, ball 1. So if there's any umpire whose strike zone would benefit Sean Rodriguez, it's definitely Ward Prana, the outside corner not being called tonight. And Rodriguez has struggled this year when the pitches have been outside. However, when it comes inside his wheelhouse, he's dangerous. Again, misses outside, ball 2. And the count now stands at 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Nate Sutton with an infield single stands at first. Kota comes set, steps and throws to first. Sutton dives back in. Rodriguez on the year finished the regular season hitting .338 with 10 home runs and 55 RBIs. The pitch from Kota, this time right over the heart of the plate, and it's called strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on. We're in a scoreless ball game in the bottom of the first. Game 3, the final game of this series. It's a 1-1 series tie. The pitch, the 2-1, swung and a miss. Swung on and missed, strike 2. So Rodriguez takes a big cut. Is unable to catch up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 runner on. Here in the bottom of the first of Game 3. Kota looks over his shoulder, steps and delivers. The pitch misses inside, ball 3. As Sutton Sean Rodriguez wisely lays off. Count now full with 1 out and 1 runner on. No other action in the Pioneer League tonight as the throw over to first Not in time. Sutton dives back in. Coda comes set. The pitch, Sutton goes. Ball 4 called. As Sutton now stands at second base. So runners at first and second now with one out for Caleb Mayer. Mayer in the lineup tonight as the designated hitter in place of Andrew Toussaint. Mayer on the regular season finished the year .316 with 6 home runs and 36 RBI. Was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat last night. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. Mayer's a native of Ceres, California. Has been in the Angels organization since 2002 when he was a 9th round draft pick. Nate Sutton stands at second base. Sean Rodriguez at first. The runner's not being held on right now. Mayer, fan favorite here, has spent some time in Provo in the past. Another veteran presence in the lineup tonight. The 0-1. Lined it down the right field line, curves foul as he just misses getting all of that. Hit the ball hard, but it sliced foul. Started in fair territory, but sliced foul. Provo Angels baseball brought to you on the internet by the Takis family of Pacific Palisades, California. We brought you all the games this year. We'd like to thank them for that service. Mayer checks his swing. The pitch is up high. He did not go around, says Mike Lusky. And the count is now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, runners at first and second. The Angels an opportunity here in the bottom of the first. Coda comes set the pitch. This is outside, a ball 2. A tough pitch for Mayer to take, but he did have a good eye. And the count is now even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fans continue to trickle in here. Of course, we're competing with the first night of the NFL, as well as the opening night of the Utah State Fair. The pitch on the way, swing a foul tip. He just did get a piece. Catcher Del Rosario is unable to hold on. And the count moves to the count remains at 2-2. Caleb Mayer will step back into the batter's box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, runners at first and second. The pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. So the designated hitter position giving Angels fits here in the playoffs. I'm sure that Caleb will be able to bounce back. He's been doing it all year long. That'll bring Cliff Remley, the first baseman, to the plate. Remley ended the night last night with a pair of singles, went 2 for 4. The pitch from Coda, taken up high, ball 1. Tim Duff due up next. The Angels look to take advantage of an inning where they have runners in scoring position early on. There's a first and second. There's now 2 out, and 1-0 count on the batter, Cliff Remley. Sutton's at second, Sean Rodriguez at first. The pitch from Coda, lined into the outfield. That's going to be caught for a hit. Darwinson Salazar makes a nice catch on a dying line drive. And we head to the top of the second. We're scoreless in Provo. You're listening to Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Brian McFall will lead things off for the Chukars here in the top of the second. McFall will be followed by Mario Lison and the second baseman Eddie Solis. The lights coming on here as the sun has set. A little bit of twilight in the area. The pitch on the way, taken up high, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. To leadoff man Brian McFall here in the top of the second. The delivery from Cordova is grounded. Nate Sun scoops it up on the left side to throw across the diamond in time to beat McFall by a step. Sutton showing great range there on a slow roller. That'll bring Mario Lison, the third baseman, to the plate. Lison on the regular season hit .289, 8 home runs and 49 RBI. Fans, let me know if you're having problems with your sports shoes as the first pitch misses outside, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes to Mario Lison. The pitch on the way, misses. Some have to assume that's down low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch from Cordova misses inside, ball 3. The 3-0 on the way. Right over the plate, but called ball 4. That'll bring Eddie Solis to the plate. Solis, one of the hot hitters in the playoffs here for the Chukars, as he has been in the regular season. Finished the year .366 with 2 home runs and a whopping 54 RBI. Not bad for a middle infielder. The pitch inside, ball 1, as Solis has to step out of the way. One ball, no strikes to count to Solis. Cordova on the mound looks at the runner at first, and the pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. The count is 1-1. Solis spent the whole year here with the Idaho Falls Chukars. Last year played with the Arizona Royals in the Arizona League. As the throw from Cordova over to first, not in time, Lison is back in safely. Cordova will get his sign from Timmy Duff, comes set at the waist. The pitch on the way, the runner goes, it's a pitch out, they've got him. The throw down to second. He's called out as, at first he was called safe, as Lison slid under the tag, but then he slid off the bag and Sean Rodriguez reapplied the tag and called out. Good job by field umpire Mike Lusky to stick with it, as there are now 2 out in the top of the second. A 2-ball, 1-strike count. The pitch is ripped into left field. Going back is Mike Perdomo, and that's gone as it bounces off the scoreboard. Solis with a solo shot gives the Chukars a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. As Cordova left a fastball high in the strike zone, and you cannot do this to a team that finished the regular season hitting .319 as a team. So the Chukars now lead 1-0. Darwinson Salazar will step to the plate. So the Angels had an opportunity to go up in the first inning with runners at first and second and only 1 out. did not take advantage, and instead the Chukars take the first lead of the game. Cordova misses high, ball one. The pitch is grounded to the third base side. Sutton will play it on one hop. The throw across the diamond in time to retire Salazar. However, the Chukars pick up a run on the solo shot by Eddie Solis. We head to the bottom of the second. The Angels trail 1-0. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Provo Angels Baseball here on SportsJuice.com. Tim Duff to lead things off, J.R. Renz and Mike Perdomo to follow. Luis Cota on the hill for the Idaho Falls Chukars, who lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. Duff rips one to left field. It is going back, and it'll be caught by Alexander Bautista at the warning track. Bautista making the catch over his shoulder. And Duff hits the ball hard. And Valentin makes a nice play to run it down. J.R. Renz comes to the plate now. Renz, for the playoffs, hitting .250 with 2 RBI. The pitch from Cota, taken for a ball as the pitch is up high. Renz checks his swing successfully. Renz on the regular season finished hitting .279 with 8 home runs and 45 RBIs as the pitch misses outside and low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to J.R. Renz, getting the start tonight in right field. Cota starts his windup. The pitch swung on and fouled down the first base side and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike now the count. We'll take a look at some major league scores tonight. Renz from the right side of the plate, the Angels in their home white uniforms with light blue angels across their chest. He looks at a called strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to J.R. Renz. Angels and the Chukars both clinging to their playoff lives here. Angels won Game 1 14-13 at McDermott Field in Idaho Falls. Chukars won Game 2 last night 2-1. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Angels' hitting woes continue. As Cota picks up his second strikeout of the night. That'll bring Mike Perdomo, the left fielder, to the plate. Perdomo in 111 in the playoffs. Finished the regular season hitting .247 with 5 home runs and 20 RBIs as he fouls the first pitch back to the screen. The Angels with three left-handed bats, in the lineup. Oh, make that 4. You got Alexi, who's a switch hitter, Nate Sutton, who's a lefty, Cliff Remley, who's a lefty, and Richard Giannotti will bat from the left side as a switch hitter. The pitch from Coda is again lined foul, this time down the first baseline, and the count is 0-2. The pitch, grounded up the middle. Nice play by Valentin to throw across in time as Valentin makes a nice little flip up to his hand, and that'll retire the side. So the Angels go down in order. We head to the top of the third. The Angels trail 1-0. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Del Rosario, Geraldo Valentin, and Brad Hayes to lead things off here in the top of the third. The Chukars lead 1-0 thanks to an Eddie Solis solo shot back in the second. The Angels right now being limited to just one hit, as are the Chukars. Fortunately, that one hit was that solo shot to left. The pitch is lined to Sean Rodriguez, who makes the play on the soft liner in shallow left field. And Rosario is put out on one pitch. Bring the top of the lineup, Geraldo Valentin to the plate. Valentin popped up to first baseman Cliff Remley to start the game off. Cordova starts the windup. The pitch on the way. Called strike on the inside corner. As the Angels playing to a considerably smaller crowd, about a third of what was here last night, just misses outside on the corner. The count now 1-1. Folks, if you're continuing to have problems with Sports Juice, email me. I had problems myself, but we're okay. Now, at least from this end, as Cordova misses outside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Geraldo Valentin with 1 out here in the top of the third. I was able to refresh and get back everything the way it needs to be, so we should be okay. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch on the way is grounded up the middle. Rodriguez makes a diving play from his knees, throws, but not in time, as Valentin will beat it out for an infield hit. So a beautiful play by Rodriguez, just not in time to get the speedy Valentin as he hustles down the line, and that'll bring Brad Hayes to the plate. Hayes walked, and his first at-bat was stranded, and has yet to pick up an official at-bat. 1-0. The Chukars lead. We're in the top of the third with one out. The pitch to Hayes misses outside and low. Ball one. Angels have a deep bullpen with the likes of Bill Edwards and Carl Jana and Mitch Arnold. Certainly to name a few, Kyle Kowalczyk, another strong lefty out of the bullpen for the Angels. The 1-0 misses inside. Ball two as Hayes has to pull his hands out of the way. Hayes on the regular season finished hitting .284 with one home run and 34 RBIs. The pitch on the way. Catches the outside corner, called strike one. Both teams with just one hit, of course, the difference being the home run. What a series that, as Cordova throws over to first, Mountain steps back in. But a series that started out with the promise of incredible offense has turned into somewhat of a pitcher's duel. The 2-1 ground to the third base side. Nate Sutton will pick it up on one hop. The throw to first. In time for the second out. Valentin will move on to second base. There are now two out in the inning. Alexander Bautista, 0 for 1 on the evening. He struck out looking at his first at bat. Bautista digging in. From the right side of the plate, he wears a shin guard on his left shin, turned in and towards his right foot. The pitch catches the outside corner, called strike one. Bautista, native of the Dominican Republic. Cordova comes set, looks over his shoulder. The pitch on the way hits the same exact location, and instead of a strike, it is called a ball, and the count now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner at second base for the Chukars, who lead 2-0. The pitch on the way from Cordova, lifted foul into the crowd as it'll bounce off the press box to the south side, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. The top of the third inning, the Angels trail 1-0. The Chukars do have a runner at second base. Looks like there's a fire somewhere south of here because smoke's being blown in. And speaking of smoke, Cordova smokes one by Bautista for a swinging strike 3. So we head to the bottom of the third. The Angels trail 1-0. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Provo Angels Baseball. I didn't mean to scare anybody. There is not a fire to the south. It just is some rain, but it's blowing over the opposite way, staying away from the field here as Richard Giannotti will step to the plate. Giannotti has not batted in this game. He'll bat from the left side for the playoffs, has yet to pick up a hit. Has walked a couple of times. The pitch from Cota, called strike one. No balls, one strike. The Angels trail 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Chukars with only 2 hits, one of them a solo shot in the second inning. Cota starting his windup, the pitch on the way. Taken up high, ball one. The Angels in the first inning had runners at first and second with only 1 out. But a strikeout and a flyout ended that threat. The Chukars came back to take advantage in the second. The pitch on the way from Cota, taken inside, ball two as Giannotti has to step out of the way. Again, we send our thoughts and prayers to many of our players' families who live in Florida as they continue to battle Mother Nature. We hope that everything's okay and that you're able to listen in here in safety. The 2-1 from Cota dropped a bunt down the third base line. Giannotti hustling a barehand play, will not be in time, but instead he's called out. So another questionable call on the bases as it looked like Giannotti had crossed in time. Nice play by third baseman Mario Lison to barehand that. And there's 1 out to start things off here in the third inning, excuse me. So at first it looked like field umpire Mike Lusky was going to call him safe. Instead, he's punched out 5-3, and that'll bring Alexi Casilla, the leadoff man, to the plate. He struck out looking at his first at bat. The pitch on the way from Cota, grounded to the shortstop, Geraldo Valentin. He'll scoop it up and on to first for out number 2. So the Angels having a hard time getting their bats going here against Cota. That'll bring Nate Sutton to the plate. The breeze starting to blow from the south, which means that it's blowing from right field to left field, as this field is situated facing southeast. Nate Sutton 1 for 1 with a base hit, and he will pick up his second base hit as it bounces in for a single. Darwinson Salazar tries to make it look like he had caught it clean. Instead, plays the short hop, and Sutton is now 2 for 2 with 2 base hits. So Sutton doing his part. That'll bring Sean Rodriguez, who walked at his first at bat. Rodriguez with his father Johnny and brother Robert in the crowd tonight. They are packing their bags for Billings. They're confident that the Angels will pull one out here tonight, as are all of us here at the Provo Angels. The pitch misses outside and low, ball one. Rodriguez, of course, with a home run in this series, a big 3-run blast that turned out to be the difference on Tuesday night. The Angels hung on to a 14-13 Game 1 win. The pitch from Cota catches the outside corner, called strike one. Rodriguez, powerfully built from the right side of the plate. Stands at 6 foot, 180 pounds, and can play just about anywhere on the field. The throw over to first not in time as Sutton dives back in safely. The wind blowing towards left field, so that is beneficial to Rodriguez. They have him shifted towards, blowing from right field to left field. That's beneficial for Sean. And they have him shifted to the left as Salazar, the center fielder, is about 30 feet towards left field. The pitch misses down low, ball two. And they continue to try and stay away from Sean Rodriguez. We're going to pull up the weather here and see what the forecast is. No apparent forecast of rain, but we'll see what the weatherman has to say. The 2-1 on the way. Catches Rodriguez on the shoulder, and he'll head to first. Doesn't look like they're going to give him anything to hit tonight. He hits to first for the second time, this time being hit by a pitch. So Caleb Mayer, who was at the plate with runners at first and second with 1 out, now faces the same situation with 2 out. And the Angels trailing 1-0. So of course, the Angels not the only team struggling with weather this year. There's been many teams in the southeastern United States who have struggled with the hurricanes. And of very little concern is baseball when your families are dealing with that, as Mayer swings at a fastball, strike one. Mayer in the lineup for the first time as a starter here in these 2004 playoffs. Andrew Toussaint was the DH the first two games. Cota from the stretch. The pitch on the way. Pop fouled on the first base line and out of play as Mayer just missed getting all of that. And the count is quickly 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners once again in scoring position for the Angels. They trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. The Billings Mustangs taking the front page of the minorleaguebaseball.com. The pitch on the way, the 0-2 up high, ball 1 as Mayer lays off. Of course, the Mustangs are the defending 2003 champions, having beat Provo last year. Mustangs would like to repeat, I'm sure, this year. The 1-2 misses outside, ball 2, as Cota trying to stay away from Mayer. Mayer has good opposite field power, hit 2 home runs this year to right field. And neither of them were, home runs. They were blasts. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3 as he chases a fastball high and out of the strike zone. We head to the top of the fourth. The Angels trail 1-0. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com.
Was the first Provo Angel player to play in the Major League. Who was the second? Was it Eric Ivar, Brandon Wood, Dallas McPherson, or Maximo Pichardo?
You mean it wasn't Greg Wood?
No, he was a team doctor though.
Okay, Dallas.
You are correct.
Welcome back to Provo Angels Baseball here on SportsJuice.com. We head to the top of the fourth. The Chukars with a 1-0 lead right now. A solo shot by Eddie Solis, the difference. Both teams have a pair of hits as we once again find ourselves in the middle of a pitcher's duel. Billy Butler grounded out to Nate Sutton to end the first inning in his first at-bat. Takes the pitch down low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Billy Butler. Angels looking to hop in front of this series. The pitch goes over the third base bag and is called fair. The throw from left field, not in time as Butler tries to stretch it into a double. A beautiful throw by Mike Perdomo from the left field line to gun the very slow Billy Butler. So Butler picks up a single, is thrown out 7-4 on the play. Smart move by Sean Rodriguez not to cut that ball as Perdomo threw a strike A one-hop strike to Alexi Casilla. Perhaps that could be the spark the Angels need. Brian McFall steps to the plate and swings and misses at high heat. No balls and one strike now the count. The pitch from Cordova again. McFall chases the high heat, and the count is 0-2. So Billy Butler gets a advantageous call by Roy Prowner as it looked like the ball was foul. However, Mike Perdomo made a beautiful play. The pitch again comes inside. This time catches McFall on the shoulder. And there's now runners at first base with one out for Mario Lison. Lison walked and was caught stealing back in the second inning. Lison digging in on the right side of the plate. Cordova comes set, looks over his shoulder and throws to first. McFall dives back in safely. Pookie Wilson, the first base coach for the Idaho Falls Chukars. Brian Rupp, the manager. Jose Bautista, the pitching coach. The throw from the pitcher over to first base is not in time, as McFall is back in safely. The pitch from Cordova, a curveball, the throw down to second as the runner goes. He slides in safely. Another questionable call by the field umpire. The ball is called for a strike. The Angels just not getting the breaks as far as the umpires are concerned. No balls and one strike to Lison. Lison waiting in the batter's box. The pitch from Cordova, a curveball that misses outside. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. To the number 6 hitter, Mario Lison. The 1-1 pitch misses outside, and the count now moves to 2-1. As the Chukars threatening with a runner at second base and one out here. Speaking of threatening, the weather is getting considerably worse. The pitch on the way is grounded to the third base side, foul. Count now even at 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One out with a runner at second base. The pitch on the way, a swing and a miss, strike 3. The snap throw down to second. Almost in time to catch McFall. Lison goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. There are now 2 outs for Eddie Solis. Solis 1 for 1 with a solo shot to left field. The difference right now. Cordova looking in for his sign from Tim Duff. Solis had a 1-1 count when he blasted that pitch to left field. The pitch on the way, the curveball catches the outside corner, called strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch on the way, misses down low. 1-1 now the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two out, runner at second base for the Idaho Falls Chukars, who lead 1-0. The curveball catches the corner, called strike 2. Cordova is staying away. That one pitch that Solis drove over the left field wall was an inside fastball. Cordova wisely staying away with off-speed deliveries and catching the corners. So we're set to go as Tim Duff ran out to visit with his young pitcher. Cordova, a nice surprise this year as he was signed as a free agent and has really been a nice starter for the Angels. The pitch on the way looked like it was a called strike 3. Instead, it is now 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 out and runners at second. So deuces wild here in Provo. Top of 4, the Angels trail 1-0. The pitch on the way, swinging a weak ground ball, but foul as it rolls to the Angels dugout. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, the count remains. As Cordova steps off the mound. Of course, the Angels and the Chukars in an elimination game here. Both teams have 1 win. The deciding game of this 3-game set, the pitch misses outside, ball 3 now the count. So the count will be full, runner at second base with 2 out. Cordova comes set, the fastball on the way, and it's fouled off the shin of Eddie Solis. Count remains full. Instead of a fastball, it was a curveball. It looked at first like a fastball, but started to tail away. Perhaps a slider? Who knows? I'm just going to start saying breaking pitches and off-speed pitches. It's easier that way. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Cordova set, the pitch. A curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Cordova battles with Solis. He picks up his 4th strikeout of the night. And we head to the bottom of the 4th. The Angels trail 1-0. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Provo Angels Baseball as we head to the bottom of the 4th. The Angels trail 1-0. 1 run on 3 hits and no errors for the visiting Idaho Falls Chukars. No runs on 2 hits and no errors for the Angels. Rembley, Duff, and Renz due up here in the bottom of the 4th. Luis Cota still on the hill for the Idaho Falls Chukars. Starts his windup, the pitch on the way, catches the outside corner, called strike 1. The pitch on the way, grounded to the right side, scooped up by second baseman Eddie Solis. He'll flip to Brad Hayes at first base for the first out. One out now in the bottom of the fourth. As Tim Duff will come to the plate. Duff hit the ball on the nail. Hit the ball like a nail, like hitting a nail on the head is what I'm trying to say. But left fielder Alexander Bautista made a nice running catch over his shoulder. The windup by Coda, the pitch on the way. Catches the outside corner, called strike one. So the Angels twice have had runners at first and second base, but have been unable to take advantage and trail 1-0. Coda starts his windup. The pitch on the way. Up high, ball one as Duff ducks out of the way. Quite a lot of the players' families are in town here tonight. Had an opportunity to meet Anthony Whittington's mother. And it's nice meeting people that I talk to every night. It's kind of cool. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch on the way. This is outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Angels trail by a run in this decisive third game. That's the word I was looking for. I kept calling it an elimination game, but it's not a tournament. It's a decisive third game of this playoff series. The 2-1 on the way from Coda. Ground ball, broken bat to the shortstop, Valentin. The throw across the diamond in time as Duff was hustling down the line. There are now 2 out in the inning for J.R. Renz. Renz struck out swinging at his first at-bat. Is 0 for 1 on the night. Renz from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Trying to bring Provo a championship this year. The pitch on the way. Caught the inside corner as Renz had to duck out of the way, but called strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Coda starts the windup, the pitch on the way, outside and low, ball 1. So, no action in either bullpen, as both pitchers are throwing the ball extremely well. Fans getting a little frustrated here with the lack of offensive production. The pitch on the way, ground ball foul to the Angels dugout, as it'll roll all the way in, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 to count, 2 out. 1-0 lead for the Chukars. We're in the bottom of the fourth in this decisive game 3. Billings waits as they took Great Falls in 2 games, finishing them off last night. Renz, little bloop single that'll fall in left field. Sounds like he broke his bat, but he rounds the bag and now stands at first with a 2-out single. That'll bring Mike Perdomo to the plate. Perdomo grounded out to the shortstop in his first at-bat. Perdomo still trying to come back from an arm injury that kept him sidelined all of 2003. Has had moments where he's looked extremely sharp this year and moments where he's struggled. But Kochman showing confidence in his veterans and keeping him in the lineup for tonight's very important game. So Renz stands at first base. Perdomo lifts it down the right field line, and it's going to curve foul, as he got good wood on that, but just a little bit late on the swing. Perdomo, a native of Miami, Florida, another player who we have quite a few players from the southeast, from Florida, from Georgia, from the parts of the country that are really being affected by the hurricanes, and so we know that their thoughts may be elsewhere at this time. The 0-1 on the way, misses high and inside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count as the throw from Del Rosario goes past the pitcher. Heads up play by shortstop Geraldo Valentin to back him up. Mario Lison, Geraldo Valentin, Eddie Solis at second base, and Brad Hayes from third to first. Felipe Del Rosario is behind the dish. Luis Cota on the hill. Alexander Bautista, Darwinson Salazar, and Brian McFall from left to right. It's the defense of the Idaho Falls Chukars. The 1-1 swung on and fouled back over my head and out of play. This count moves to 1-2. Angels have struck out 4 times tonight in just 4 innings. So, and that matches Francisco Cordova's 4 strikeouts. So both pitchers dealing tonight. Just going to see who breaks first. The pitch from Coda misses, is called strike 3, as that was, you know what, I can't even tell you where that was. A called strike 3. We head to the top of the 5th. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Back to Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. We head into the top of the 5th, a 1-0 lead for the Idaho Falls Chukars. A trio of hits for each team. As both pitchers are throwing very well right now. Darwinson Salazar, who grounded out to third in his first at-bat, steps to the plate and takes ball 1 inside. Win or lose, the championship series starts Saturday night. The pitch is grounded past Nate Sutton into left field. And Salazar will round the bag, The long throw from Perdomo keeps Salazar at first base. So Salazar leads off with a single. That'll bring Felipe Del Rosario to the plate. Rosario 0 for 1 with a line out to Sean Rodriguez at short. So as I was saying, the pitch is swung on and popped foul back behind home plate. Tim Duff will give chase and try to make the catch up against the screen, but it hits the screen before he can pull it in and falls for strike 1. I was saying the league championship series will start on Saturday night in Billings, Montana. The Southern Division has the home field advantage, so should the Angels win, they would return Monday night to Larry H. Miller Field for Game 2 and Tuesday night for a possible Game 3. The bunt is popped up. Francisco Cordova will field his position and catch the pop-up, so Del Rosario unable to get the job done as far as bunting the runner over. So 1 out, And Salazar still stands at first base. That'll bring Geraldo Valentin to the plate. Valentin 1 for 2 with a single. He singled back in the third. Was stranded at second base. The pitch on the way, up high, ball 1. The Angels able to keep that force intact at second base. Always important in a close ball game to keep runners from reaching scoring position. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch on the way, the runner goes. The ball is swung at, foul down the third base line, just foul. And Salazar will have to head back to first base. Angels have done a good job of reading the Chukars' signs recently. Been able to throw out quite a few runners. Cordova comes set. The pitch on the way, swung foul back to the screen. And the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 1 runner on for the Chukars who have a 1-0 lead. We're in Game 3 of this Pioneer League Southern Division playoff series. The pitch on the way, swing and line, foul down the first base line and out of play. Count remains 1-2. Valentin will dig back in on the right side. A breeze now blowing in from center field. The throw over to first. Not in time as Salazar steps back in without a problem. I hope that everything is sounding okay out there. We're in a close ball game here at Larry H. Miller Field. Decisive Game 3 between the Angels and the Chukars. The pitch on the way, the runner goes, the ball's lifted into the gap in left field. That's going to roll all the... Mike Perdomo does a nice job cutting it off. The run will score. And the Chukars now lead 2-0 as Salazar running on the play. Valentin with an RBI double. And once again, the Angels' lack of offensive production, unable to drive in runners in scoring position, coming back to bite them. Zeke Zimmerman's going to walk out to talk with his big righty, as the Angels now have Bill Edwards warming up in the bullpen. We're going to take a brief pause. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Chukars, with 1 out, have something going here. They've already brought 1 run across, have a runner at second base, and the heart of their lineup coming to the plate, Brad Hayes. 0 for 1, he grounded out to Nate Sutton back in the third inning. The pitch from Cordova misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, 2-0 the Chukars lead now. Solo shot by Eddie Solis and an RBI double by Geraldo Valentin. The difference. The pitch is swung on and missed. The snap throw down to shortstop, or to second base shortstop Sean Rodriguez covering. Not in time as Valentin slides in. Pitch was called strike 1 to Hayes. Duff, very good at that snap throw from his knees. The pitch on the way from Cordova, grounded again towards Sutton at third base. He looks the runner back and fires across the diamond for the second out of the inning. Nice play by Sutton. Now bring Alexander Bautista, a victim of 2 strikeouts to Cordova. 1 looking, 1 swinging. And Tom Konsman will walk out to the mound. It looks like Cordova's night is done. And you can't fault the guy, only He goes 4 2/3 innings, gives up 2 runs on 5 hits. He is responsible for the runner at second base right now. However, pitched a great performance. Did not get the support he needs offensively. The Angels will have their work cut out for him. Bill Edwards coming in from the bullpen. We'll take a brief pause and be back with Edwards' stats. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball at SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Now on the hill for Provo is number 14, Bill Edwards. Edwards led the team this year with 6 wins to 1 loss at an ERA of 2.82 coming out of the bullpen. He's walked 12 in the regular season, struck out 24. Opponents only hitting .210 against him, but that is in the regular season. In the playoffs, he struggled a little bit up north. At Idaho Falls, he only threw 1 inning, gave up 3 runs. And opponents with a .333 batting average in the playoffs. The pitch outside and low to Bautista. 1 ball and no strikes, but Bill, most definitely an MVP-type season for him coming out of the bullpen. He's really proven he has what it takes to pitch in this organization. The 1-0 on the way. Catches the outside corner, called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The number 3 hitter, Alexander Bautista. 1 runner at second base is Geraldo Valentin. The Chukars lead 2-0. The pitch on the way looked like it caught the outside corner. Instead, called ball 2. As Bautista will dig back in on the right side. Edwards' family back in Tennessee listening in tonight. Edwards comes set. The 2-1 on the way. Grounded to the second baseman, Alexi. He'll take it on 1 hop and throw to first for the 3rd out. The Chukars add 1 more. They now lead 2-0. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. The Angels need to get their bats going. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com.
What percentage of the Earth's water is usable for all humanity's needs? Is it 1%, 24%, 17%, or 5%? You are correct, and the crowd was right.
The rest of the Earth's water is salt water or frozen in iceberg. The polar ice caps. Congratulations to the Southeast Water, first involved in these things. And thanks to our friends at Provo City Water Resources for the great prize. For the Angels, the center fielder, number 4,
Richard Giannotti will come to the plate to lead things off here in the fifth. The Angels trail 2-0. Giannotti will get things going here in the fifth inning. Alexi Casilla will bat second, and Nate Sutton will bat third. Angels have struck out 5 times tonight, have only 3 hits, as Luis Cota, the native of Tucson, Arizona, throwing very well tonight. However, Angels always have a potent lineup, and they seem ready for tonight's game. The pitch on the way from Cota misses high and outside, ball 1. In both games, the Chukars have seen their pitcher throw well for the first few innings and then start to struggle. Angels will look to get something going here in the fifth inning. The 1-0 on the way from Cota. Lifted foul and out of play. Giannotti 0 for 1 on the night. He tried to bunt for a base hit back in the third inning. It looked like he had beat him out, but a delayed call by field umpire Mike Lusky punched him out on the plate for the first out of the third inning. The switch hitter batting lefty against the right-handed Cota. Cota starting his windup. The pitch on the way. Taken high, ball 2, as catcher Felipe Del Rosario is struggling to hold on to the ball. Two balls, 1 strike. And we are just underway in the bottom of the fifth. The Angels trail 2-0. The 2-1 on the way is lined into center field for a base hit. So Giannotti, the first leadoff batter to get on for the Angels here in tonight's ball game. Always a good thing. He had 21 stolen bases on the regular season. Good for third in the Pioneer League. And Alexi Casilla will step to the plate with no out and a runner at first base. Casilla, another speed burner. Cota looking in, gets his sign from Del Rosario. The pitch squared to bunt, pulled back as it was low. And the count is 1-0. Go to ProvoAngels.com and visit stats and scores to follow the Major League action tonight. Of course, no other Pioneer League games as Billings swept their 3-game set with Great Falls 2-0 as the pitch is down low to Casilla, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. No out with a runner at first base. The Angels trail 2-0 in this decisive game 3. Cota comes set to 2-0. The third baseman is about 30 feet in. A little broken bat single that's going to fall for a base hit. Giannotti has to hold up as he wasn't sure whether Salazar could come on and make the catch. The Angels have runners at first and second now with consecutive singles. Nate Sutton coming to the plate with no out. And the Angels getting a little something going here in the fifth. Casilla's bat shattered is what I meant to say. All over the field. I hope I didn't offend anybody there. As Nate Sutton, 2 for 2 on the night with 2 singles, comes to the plate. The Angels now matching the Chukars with 5 hits and have runners at first and second. Infielders in at the corners for Sutton, with Cota pitching from the stretch. Both players charge it, a little slap bunt as he fouls it off down the third base line. Lee Sohn was already about 30 feet from home plate, and he just ducked his head. He thought he was going to have one taken off. Sutton squared the bunt, but instead slapped at it. Almost picked up a base hit as the ball sliced foul. So Brad Hayes and Mario Lison both well in on the grass, and they will start charging in about 2 seconds. Sutton again slaps at it, pops it up. It's going to go into foul territory and fall in the Angels' bullpen safely. The count now 0-2 to Sutton. So both players at the corners can breathe a little bit safer now. They Don't have to worry about getting their heads taken off. I play a lot of baseball. I did play first base in high school, and that's a very freaky feeling when you come charging in for a bunt and all of a sudden they're slapping away, especially with an aluminum bat. No balls, 2 strikes, no out. 2 runners on for the Angels who trail 2-0. They decide at the plate. The pitch swung at in line into left field. It's going to fall for a base hit. Gianni's caught up. He's going to slide in safely as he had to wait up again because Bautista looked like he was going to make that catch, but 3 singles in a row have now loaded the bases for the Angels for Sean Rodriguez. They can't walk him. They can't hit him. They have nowhere to put him as the bases are loaded. It's a 2-0 game. And pitching coach Jose Bautista will come out. So a couple of slap singles, 3 of them right in a row, have loaded the bases for the Angels. Beautiful job by Nate Sutton to get a pitch that was low and outside. He just took it the opposite field. And the Angels now have the bases loaded. Some action in the Chukars bullpen. It looks like Jacob Mullis is up throwing. If I read his number right, I'll have to get a verification on that. But it does look like the right-hander Jacob Mullis is warming up for the Chukars right now. Mullis, a 6'2", 215-pound right-hander. So Sean Rodriguez, the league MVP, will come to the plate. With the bases loaded, it's a 2-0 game. The Chukars are ahead, however, with no outs, and the bases chucked of Angels this time. Rodriguez is walked and been hit by a pitch, but you don't have anywhere to put him with the bases loaded. The fans starting to get into it here. The pitch from Cota inside, it almost hit him. Ball 1. Of course, Rodriguez not doing anything to get out of the way of that pitch. A hit batsman is a run. Chance of Let's Go Provo starting to fill the stadium. Bases loaded. No out. Bottom of the 5th, the Angels trail by 2. They have their best hitter at the plate in Sean Rodriguez with a 1-0 count. The delivery from Cota. Swing and a miss. He chases a high fastball. You could tell he wanted it on that one. And those chants of Let's Go Provo getting people excited. Let's keep those going. 1 ball, 1 strike. No out. Bases loaded for Sean Rodriguez. It's a 2-0 ball game in favor of the Idaho Falls Chukars. Cota comes set. The pitch on the way. A called strike 2 as it looked like it missed low. Instead, Rodriguez is now staring at a 1-2 count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No out. Bases loaded. Base hit would score 2. Cota comes set. The 1-2 on the way. Pop foul back behind home plate, now to play. Count remains 1-2. So somewhere in the stands is the family of Sean Rodriguez. They are looking on for a moment like this. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No out. Bases loaded. The Angels trail by 2. Cota set the pitch. Swing and a line drive into center field. Going back to the wall. It's going to be over the head of the center fielder, Alex. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Third is beating 1 again. There's going to be a play. The play, the ball gets by the catcher. One of the scores in. Rodriguez stands at third base with a bases clearing triple. And I don't mean to be yelling, but the Angels have just taken a 3-2 lead. So Sean Rodriguez comes up big time with the bases loaded. A bases clearing triple to center field. And fans, I know that it's not very professional for a broadcaster to yell, but I can't help myself. The Angels have just taken a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 5th with no out, and Rodriguez stands at third base. Brian Rupp is going to walk out, and it looks like Cota's night is done. We're going to take a break. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Jacob Mullis now on the hill for the Angels, as Sean Rodriguez will be scored with a double. All 3 runs score as he gets 3 RBIs on the double. He moves to third base on the throw. And the Angels now lead 3-2 with Caleb Mayer up to the plate. The Chukars defense drawn in, trying to prevent that final run, run from scoring from third base. Mayer takes ball 1 from Jacob Mullis, the new pitcher for the Chukars. Mullis on the year, 3-4 with a 6.99 ERA. Opponent's hitting .317 against the righty as he delivers a curveball called strike 1. So the Angels now lead 3-2, thanks to the bases clearing double by Sean Rodriguez. The 1-1 on the way to Caleb Mayer. Misses inside, ball 2. Mullis started the season with the Burlington Bees, single-A team of the Kansas City Royals. He has 19 walks and 40 strikeouts on the regular season. The 2-1 swung on and fouled back to the screen as the count now even at 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, no out. Rodriguez at third base, he just cleared the bases. And the Angels lead 3-2. The pitch on the way, the 2-2 foul back to the screen as Mayer does a good job of fighting off a tough pitch. Cliff Remley in the on-deck circle, and a crowd that was anxious getting to the ballpark, finally getting into it, finally having something to cheer about as the Angels have scored 3 here in the 5th and still have no out and a runner at third. Ground ball into right field. An RBI single for Caleb Mayer will give the Angels a 4-2 lead as he slaps it past the drawn-in infield. And that'll bring first baseman Cliff Remley to the plate. So Bill Edwards is going to get up and go throw in the bullpen. As the Angels have redeemed the great start of Francisco Cordova. Cordova went 4 2/3 innings, only gave up 2 runs, and only allowed 5 hits. So another strong start by Angels starting pitching. And the Angels offense has come alive here in the 5th to give them the lead. Slap base hit into the gap in left center. Caleb Mayer's going to try and stretch it to third. Cliff Remley hustling in and will slide into second base with a double. Runners now at second and third as the Angels have really come alive here in the bottom of the 5th. So frustration building up over the last game and a half. Angels struggling with runners in scoring position have made up the difference here tonight with Tim Duff. He'll step to the plate with no outs and 2 runners in scoring position. Fly ball, score a run, a base hit will score 2. And you gotta love playoff baseball. Infield again drawn in for the Idaho Falls Chukars. You gotta love it when it's a 2-0 lead for the visiting team as well. You could feel the tension building, and that's what baseball in fall is all about. The pitch on the way misses the inside part of the plate, instead catches the corner, which seemed to be in Payson, about 20 miles south of Provo. That pitch was Not anywhere close to the plate, but instead is called for a strike. So with the strike zone from Payson to American Fork, Duff at the plate. No balls and one strike. The pitch is lined back up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher. It's going to roll all the way into center field. Mayer will score. Remley will have to stay at second base as Idaho Falls Chukars defensemen were flailing at it with their gloves, couldn't pick it up. And Duff in an RBI single gives the Angels a 5-2 lead. J.R. Renz will step to the plate. Renz 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Runners at first and second for the Angels. Still no outs on the board as they have jumped to a 5-2 lead here in the bottom of the fifth. Not a game you want to miss if you're an Angels fan. The pitch on the way. Renz is squaring to bunt. He pushes a great bunt down the first base line. It's fielded in fair territory. The puck gets away from the second baseman all the way into right field. Remley will score. Renz now stands at second base. Jim Duff at third, and the Angels lead 6-2. A perfect bunt by Renz. The throw by Felipe Del Rosario. Short hops second baseman Eddie Solis and ends up in short right field. So all of a sudden, after innings of struggling with fundamental baseball and runners in scoring position, the Angels, showing why they were the regular season champions of the Pioneer League South Division. Tim Duff now stands at third, Renz at second. He doesn't pick up an RBI as it'll be a throwing error, a two-base throwing error on the catcher. But he does put the ball on the plate, getting the job done. And the Angels once again have runners at second and third that drawn in infield for the Chukars as they are flailing and struggling here in the fifth. Mike Perdomo will step to the plate with no out, and runners again at second and third. The pitch from Mullis. Swung on and lifted into deep right field. Going into the corner is Brian McFall, but it'll fall foul. So Perdomo getting a good piece on that. The outfielders are also drawn in shallow, trying to cut off the run coming from third on a potential fly ball. So Perdomo with an opportunity here to extend the lead. Angels up 6-2. With runners at second and third and still no out. They've exploded for 5 hits here so far in the inning. The pitch on the way. Perdomo has to duck out of the way. A curveball that almost caught him on the bill of the helmet. And the count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. No out. Angels lead 6-2 with runners at second and third. Mullis comes set. The pitch is lifted into right field. That's going to fall. 4 bases. That's going to be for extra bases. 2 runs will score. Perdomo's going to round second and try to stretch it into 3. The throw from the relay is going to be past the third baseman, and Perdomo slides in with an RBI triple. So Perdomo, the veteran of this Provo Angels team, has been struggling all playoffs long, comes through big with a 2 RBI triple, and the Angels have batted around. It'll be their 10th batter coming to the plate in the form of Richard Giannotti, who got this thing started with a little slap single into center field. And still no outs on the board. The Angels now lead 8-2. And it's going to be time for the pitching coach, Jose Bautista, to run out and visit with his young right-hander. Tough situation for Jacob Mullis to come into, of course, with the difficulties that he inherited. He inherited a trailing situation with no outs and a runner at third base. Was unable to get Caleb Mayer as he slapped a single into right field. Cliff Remley knocked a double into right. Tim Duff a single that drove in a run. J.R. Renz bunted in a run. Now Mike Perdomo with 2 RBIs, and the Angels lead 8-2. The Angels, who had been frustrated since about the 5th inning of Game 1 offensively, coming alive here at Miller Field in the 5th. The pitch to Giannotti is down low. Mullis missing low and outside. Again, the infield drawn in. As as the Chukars entered the inning with a 2-0 lead, now trail 8-2. The pitch on the way. Giannotti slaps it to the shortstop. Bouncing, he makes a nice play to keep it in the infield. And Giannotti is retired as the first out. Keep thinking Mario Lisona's at short. Lisona, starting shortstop in game 1. The run unable to score. He still is standing at third base. Alexi Casilla, who also picked up a single, 1 for 3 with a run scored, steps to the batter's box. The pitch on the way from Mullis is ripped into left field, but foul. Out of play, strike 1. Adam Rowe warming up right now for the Idaho Falls Chukars in their bullpen. Rowe, a 6'2" left-hander. Last through for Mount Vernon Nazarene. Is warming up right now as Mullis is struggling himself here in the 5th. The pitch on the way, outside, ball 1. Angels have scored 8 runs here, highlighted by a 3-run double by Sean Rodriguez and a 2-run triple by Mike Perdomo. The pitch on the way from Mullis, high and tight, ball 2. Angels fans, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Takis family of Pacific Palisades, California, and we appreciate the opportunity to bring it to you live here. Game 3 of the Pioneer League Southern Division playoffs. The Idaho Falls Chukars and the Provo Angels tied at 1. Angels took both halves of the Pioneer League season. The pitch is swung on and missed, strike 2. Chukars finishing in second place both times. In the first half of the season, just one half game. One half game kept this from being a series that was played up in Idaho Falls. The pitch on the way, swung on and fouled down the left field line. Out of play. And the count remains at 2-2. Angels, of course, finished 2 full games ahead of the Chukars in the second half. Maintained a lead of 7 or 8 games most of that second half. Injuries and the opportunity to rest most of his starters on an alternate basis allowed the Angels to relinquish some of that lead. The 2-2 is taken outside ball 3. And the great thing, if you just look at this Angels lineup from top to bottom, and not just the starters, but the guys that are role players on this team, everybody does their job. They play as a team, and they're starting to show that here after struggling through an inning or a game and a half of offensive futility, have found their stroke and now lead 8-2. The pitch on the way, check swing, pop fly in the infield. Going back is Eddie Solis, and he will gather it in for the second out of the inning. So Mike Perdomo still stands at third base. Nate Sutton now coming to the plate. Sutton with 3 for 3 with 3 singles at a time when the Angels couldn't get a hit. Sutton was still slapping the ball around, and he really kept them in this game. Brian Ruff's going to walk out to the mound. It looks like Jacob Maltz's night is done. He came in at trailing 3-2, gives up 5 runs, and the Chukars now trail 8-2. Coming in from the bullpen will be number 19, Adam Rowe. We're going to take a brief pause, and we'll be back. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Angels baseball. We have 2 out in the bottom of the 5th. The Angels exploding for 8 runs here in the inning. Now lead 8-2. Nate Sutton will step to the plate against the new pitcher, Adam Rowe. Adam Rowe 2-3 on the year with a 4.73 ERA. Has walked 11, struck out 24, and opponents hitting .278 against the lefty. Mike Perdomo stands at third base with 2 out. Nate Sutton at the plate. The pitch taken down low, ball 1. Quick recap of the inning, if I can get through it. Richard Giannotti led off with a single, Casilla followed with a single, and Sutton followed with a single to load the bases. Sean Rodriguez, a 3 RBI double, and the pitch is slapped into left field. That's going to fall for an RBI single. The ball bounces past Alexander Bautista. Sutton will hustle into second base, and the Angels now lead 9-2. So, taking advantage of runners in scoring position here in the 5th inning, Sutton now stands at second base. He'll get a single and an error on Alexander Bautista, the left fielder. That's the 2nd or 3rd time this series that Bautista has just kind of hot-dogged it with a ball that bounced in front of him and had it go by him. The pitch to Sean Rodriguez, who blew this game open with a 3-run double, takes ball 1 outside. The Angels were trailing 2-0, but had bases loaded with no out, and Rodriguez ripped a double over the head of center fielder Darwinson Salazar to give the Angels a 3-2 lead. As Rodriguez looks at ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Looked like the initial call. The scoreboard shows something different. We'll see what the official call is. Yes, it looks like that pitch that was outside and low was called for a strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 out. Nate Sutton stands at second base. The Angels fans want it to keep coming. He takes ball 3 down low. Sometimes I get a little excited and I don't watch the umpire. Certainly something I'll have to work on in the offseason. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. The pitch on the way, taken for a called strike 2. Angels bring their first 9 batters to the plate before getting an out, all 9 scored. And that is the difference right now, 9-2. 9 runs on 12 hits. They counted out 7 hits this inning. The pitch on the way, missed outside, ball 4, and the Angels getting something going here with 2 out. You know, you got to look at the box score and see who's going to be player of the game if the Angels can hold on to this 9-2 lead. Sean Rodriguez, of course, would come to mind with 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and a 3 RBI double. Nate Sutton, an RBI and 4 for 4. Caleb Mayer, of course, getting the job done, is 1 for 3. He swings and misses, strike 1. How do you pick a player of the game here? Francisco Cordova threw a great 4 2/3 innings. Of course, we're far from being done, but the Angels on fire here as Mayer fouls it off down the first base side and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes now to count. Angels using a combination of placement hitting, a couple of big shots into the gap, Perdomo's triple down the right field line, and the fact that just about every player in this lineup has decent speed has been upheld. Mayer swings and misses for strike 3, so the inning finally over for the Chukars. However, the Angels bring 14 batters to the plate and score 9 runs. They now lead 9-2 as we head to the top of the 6th. You're listening to Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Provo Angels baseball. We head to the top of the sixth. The Angels on top, 9-2. 9 runs in the bottom of the fifth give them that lead. Bill Edwards still on the mound. Billy Butler, 1 for 2 on the night. Looks at ball one inside. Butler singled in his last at bat, but was thrown out by Mike Perdomo trying to stretch it into a double. The pitch from Edwards, lined again down the third base line. That's going to be fair. Perdomo will run over. It looks like Billy Butler's going to test his arm again to throw into second base. This time just a little bit offline. A good throw, but a little bit wide of the bag. And Butler leads things off with a double. Ryan McFall, the right fielder, will step to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Butler's a big boy. He worked hard to get to second base on that play. Edwards working from the stretch position. Comes set. The pitch on the way. Popped up in the shallow left side of the infield. Sean Rodriguez in the middle of the infield. Dirt calls everybody off for out number 1. And that'll bring Mario Lison to the plate. Lison 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Lison struck out swinging in his last at bat. Bill Butler stands at second base with a leadoff double. Edwards comes set. The pitch on the way, swinging a foul back to the screen, 0-1. So Angels fans getting into it during the fifth inning, coming alive as you could tell most of the night they were just kind of pensive, sitting on the edge of their seats waiting for something big to happen. And it did. Now the Angels have 3 more innings to battle here as a called strike on a curveball. Lison visibly upset as he kind of slams his bat down walking out of the batter's box. No balls and 2 strikes. Kind of benefited from the American fork to face and strike zone there. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch on the way bounces by Tim Duff. Butler will advance on to third as Duff slips a little bit on the grass trying to come back up with it. Duff, it is a wild pitch. Duff upset it himself, though. Had an opportunity to talk with Duff. The man knows more about baseball trivia than anybody I've ever met. Don't ever try to play the baseball name game with Tim Duff because he will beat you every time. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating when your catcher knows more about the game than you do. In a good way. Frustrating in a good way. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch is grounded to the left side. Nate Sutton will pick it up. Fire across to first for the second out. The run will score. So the Chukars cut the lead to 9-3. There are 2 out now in the inning as Lison is put out 5-3. So if Duff's family is listening in, you've raised a good baseball kid. He certainly knows his stuff. Eddie Solis, who had a solo home run and a strikeout, looks at a called strike 1. At the time, the home run was big. It gave the Chukars a 1-0 lead, and their pitching was on fire as he looks at ball 1 inside. However, now the Angels holding on to a 9-3 lead. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. The pitch on the way. Check swing by Solis. It looked like it caught the corner. Instead, it's called ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch from Edwards lined into right field over the head of second baseman Alexi Casilla. J.R. Renz will fire it in. And the Chukars pick up a 2-out single. Regardless of who wins, Game 1 of the championship series starts Saturday. The pitch on the way, taken down low by Darwinson Salazar. 1 ball and no strikes. Salazar, who is 1 for 2 with a single, he also scored a run back in the 5th. Edwards comes set. The pitch on the way just misses outside. Ball 2. Today's September 9th, so Saturday, September 11th will be game 1 of the championship series. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out. The pitch on the way just misses outside, ball 3, as a strike zone that was as wide as the valley all of a sudden has shrunk down a bit here. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 out. The pitch on the way, called strike 1 as Salazar stepped out of the batter's box. Still kind of discussing the call with Roy Prauner. Edwards comes set, the pitch on the way, catches the inside corner, called strike 2. Salazar shakes his head as he walks out of the box back towards the Angels dugout. So full count, 2 out, 1 runner on. The Angels lead 9-3. We're in the top of the 6th inning. The pitch from Edwards, the runner goes, it's outside, ball 4. Solis around second, but is stopped there. So as good as it is to have 9 runs, you still got to go out there and pitch. Right now, Edwards, after getting 2 outs, even though he let in, at the time, a meaningless run, struggling right now, giving up a single and a walk. Zeke Zimmerman out to calm him down. Bill Edwards, as I've said many times, one of the more talented right-handers out of the bullpen. We are just stocked with them. Guys like Carl Jelena, who can start for you or come out of the bullpen. Casey Mutter, a big 6'4", 220-pound righty that throws really hard. Jason Corbin, another big guy, 6'7", 250, who can throw hard. Fred Carney comes in there and mixes things up a little bit. At 6'3", he's been another valuable member of that bullpen. Chris Waters, of course, who threw last night, could have picked up the win. He threw extremely well. Did not get the offensive support. Another strong arm. Of course, Mitch Arnold, the league leader in closers. So, in saves, as the pitch to Del Rosario misses outside, ball 1. So a talented bullpen of right arms. A good couple of lefties in Kelly Shearer and Kyle Pawelczyk to mix things up. The 1-0 on the way, called strike 1 as Del Rosario looked like he was taking all the way. Runners not being held on right now. Infield back at pretty deep with the middle infielders. Their heels are on the outfield grass. The 1-1 swung on and missed, strike 2. Edwards comes back with a slider that cuts into the righty and is now ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out, runners at first and second. The Chukars, who trail by 6, looking to get back into this thing. The pitch on the way. Called strike 3, a big breaking ball on the outside corner by Billy Edwards, and we head to the bottom of the 6th. The Angels up 9-3. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com.
All these contestants have already won 2 passes to 70, and now they'll be hooligans. Cheer for the boys and the girls. Are we ready? Here comes the Provo Angels hooligans.
Welcome back to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. The Angels with a 9-3 lead as we head into the bottom of the sixth. Cliff Remley will start things off. He'll be followed by Tim Duff and J.R. Renz. Angels going into the top of the sixth with a 9-2 lead, gave up 1 run. Now a 6-run lead. Let's see if they can match some of their offensive magic from the 5th inning. That'll bring Cliff Remley to the plate. Remley on the night, 2 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Remley part of that offensive onslaught in the 5th. And I know typically in the 5th we bring you Major League scores. I was a little bit caught up in the action there. The first pitch from Adam Rowe, called ball 1 by home plate umpire Roy Bronner. The pitch on the way is grounded to the first base side. Brad Hayes will scoop it up and handle it himself as he steps on the bag for out number 1. Tim Duff will come to the plate now. Duff singled in an RBI back in the 5th. Is 1 for 3 on the evening. Kansas City beat Detroit today 26-5. Wow. 26-5. Kansas City beats Detroit in the major leagues. The Yankees beat up on Tampa Bay 9-1. As Duff looks at ball 1 outside. In game 2 between Detroit and Kansas City, Detroit came back and won 8-0. So interesting scores at Comerica as the pitch is outside, ball 2. And the Yankees and the Devil Rays also playing too. The Yankees sweep that doubleheader with a 10-5 victory in Game 2. Chicago beat Texas 7-3. Seattle up 3-0 on Boston there in the top of the 4th. The ball is grounded up the middle. It is going to be scooped up by Valentin. The throw not in time as Duff beats out an infield single. So J.R. Renz will now come to the plate. Renz, who did his job, who placed a perfect bunt down the right field line, the first base line, was able to advance to second as the throw sailed away from catcher Felipe Del Rosario. He eventually came around to score on Mike Perdomo's triple. JR, the pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. So Renz officially 1 for 3 on the night because it will be charged an error to the catcher. However, doing his job should, in my heart, be 1 for 2. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. The pitch taken down low, ball 1. And in the bottom of the 4th, Toronto is beating up on Anaheim 5-1. So bad news for the parent club. They battle to stay in the American League West race as well as the wild card race. The 1-1 on the way, taken outside, ball 2. The Mets beat the Marlins, ending their 9-game win streak 4-0. It also ended the Mets' 11-game losing streak. Pittsburgh beat Houston 3-1. Milwaukee beat Cincinnati 7-2. As Rowe comes set, the 2-1 on the way, taken up high, ball 3. Philadelphia beat Atlanta 9-4. Houston beat Pittsburgh in the double dip 9-2. So they split the twin bill. The 3-1 misses inside, ball 4. And Renzel has the first with a 1-out walk. Duff will move on over to second. San Diego and Colorado, with Colorado on top right now in the top of the 7th, 7-3. And Los Angeles is tied with Arizona 2-2 as they're into the top of the 4th. So Mike Perdomo, who had that big bases-clearing triple to add to the Angels' 9-run 5th, swings and fouls the pitch back to the screen, 0-1. Perdomo, who came up to the plate last night with a couple of opportunities to do some damage with runners in scoring position, was unfortunately unable to do so, but really coming through and showing why the veteran is in the lineup tonight. Perdomo interviewed today by a Daily Herald runner. The pitch is grounded to the third baseman. He steps on the bag. The throw will sail high, and Perdomo avoids the tag. So he is called safe. The runner is out at third base. Perdomo, good job of base running as he avoids the tag of Brad Hayes. The throw from Lison at third base sailed high. So Duff is out at third. Renz moves to second on the fielder's choice. Perdomo reaches on the fielder's choice. There's now 2 out here in the 6th inning. Richard Giannotti with an opportunity to add to the lead. Now batting from the right side against the lefty Rowe. Takes the pitch inside on the inside corner for a called strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. 2 out. The Angels lead 9-3. Again, that same inside corner, called strike 2. I want to thank Angels fans and family for sending the emails. We appreciate the team appreciates the support, and I love bringing it to you. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. The pitch on the way, up high, ball 1. J.R. Renz stands at second base. Mike Perdomo's at first. Richard Giannotti at the plate with a 1-2 count and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Giannotti strikes out to end the 6th. The Angels fail to score any more runs. We head to the top of the 7th. They lead 9-3. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Find ourselves in the top of the 7th. It's a 9-3 ball game in favor of the Provo Angels. Raldo Valentin, the leadoff hitter, will start things off. He's 2 for 3 with a single and a double. The pitch from Edwards, inside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes now to leadoff man Valentin. Bill Edwards on the mound for the Angels. The pitch called ball 2. Again, confused as to where that strike zone is, as it looked like he caught the outside corner. 2-0 on the way, lifted into right field. J.R. Renz will settle underneath it and reel it in for the first out of the 7th. So first baseman Brad Hayes will come to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of ground outs to Nate Sutton. He also walked in the first inning. Edwards gets his sign. The windup in the pitch. Called strike 1. Finding that ever-changing outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch on the way. Called strike 2. A slider that catches the black and Hayes is down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 on the way from Edwards, almost called strike 3 as it just misses down low. Proner looked like he wanted to give it to him, but held off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The pitch on the way from Edwards, swung on and fouled down the right field line, slicing out of play. Edwards stares into Tim Duff, getting his side. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss as he blows the fastball by him. And there are now 2 out in the top of the 7th. So 2 out now for Alexander Bautista, 0 for 3 on the night for the left fielder. The pitch is misses outside, ball 1. Bautista has struck out twice and grounded out once. He grounds the ball hard to Nate Sutton, who vacuums it up in his glove. The throw across the diamond, and a 1-2-3 inning for the Angels in the top of the 7th. We head to the bottom of the 7th with the Angels on top. 9-3, you're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th. The Angels lead 9-3. Alexi Casilla starting things off for the Angels. Now from the right side of the plate against the lefty Rowe. Takes the first pitch inside, a called ball 1. Casilla, Sutton, and Rodriguez due up here in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch on the way, slapped into left field. A base hit through the hole as Casilla stands at first base as he takes a big turn, but will head back, a very aggressive base runner. Casilla now 2 for 5 on the night. So third baseman Nate Sutton will come to the plate. Sutton is 4 for 4 with 4 singles, an RBI, and a run scored. Has really been the offensive power when the rest of the lineup was struggling. He takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Rowe comes set. The pitch swung on and fouled back out of play. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. No out here in the bottom of the 7th. with Alexi Casilla at first. Sutton looks at ball one on the outside corner. So the Angels with a 6-run lead in the bottom of the seventh as they look to hold off the Chukars. The pitch is down and in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good job by Del Rosario to keep it in front. Sean Rodriguez in the on-deck circle. He'd be followed by Caleb Mayer should the opportunity arise. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no out. The pitch from Rowe swung on and missed, strike 3. So for the first time tonight, Nate Sutton strikes out. But that's okay. He's still 4 for 5 on the night. So Caleb Mayer now in the on-deck circle as Sean Rodriguez will step to the plate. Rodriguez, 2 walks, a hit by a pitch, and he gave the Angels a 3-2 lead with a bases-clearing double. Bases were loaded and no out, and he lined the ball to center field over the head of Salazar. The pitch is taken up high, ball 1. And from there, the floodgates opened, and the Angels now lead 9-3. Rowe comes set, the 1-0. Taken outside, ball 2. So those who did show up tonight, not a horrible crowd. We've had worse crowds during the season, that's for sure. Probably about 1,000 people here tonight. Treated to some exciting baseball as Rodriguez takes strike 1 on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike to the number 3 hitter. Rowe comes set. The pitch is grounded to the third base side. Lison will take it and go to second. Out at second base, the throw on to first, not in time as Casilla slides in hard, breaking up the potential double play. Casilla put out 5-4 for the second out of the inning. Rodriguez reaches on a fielder's choice. So Caleb Mayer will come to the plate. Mayer has 3 strikeouts, but did pick up an RBI single and scored a run in that big 5th inning. Doing a nice job of punching it through the hole on the right side past the drawn-in second baseman and first baseman. The pitch from Rowe misses outside, ball 1. 9 runs on 14 hits and no errors for the Angels. 3 runs on 7 hits and a solitary error for the Chukars. Rowe set, the pitch on the way. Lifted, fouled on the first base line and out of play. So fans, we hope that you're feeling the excitement tonight, as the Angels are certainly providing an electric moment here at the ballpark. As they now have the lead 9-3. The pitch from Rowe swung on and fisted back to the screen. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Angels giving the fans here at Larry H. Miller a treat. The pitch low. Mayer checks his swing. They appealed to Mike Lusky in the field, and he said he did not go around. So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runner at first base is Sean Rodriguez. The Angels have a 6-run lead. Would like to add to it. The pitch on the way. Grounded to the right side. Pass. Solis on into right field. Mayer will reach on a single. Rodriguez will pull into third, and the Angels now have runners at the corners. So a nice job by Mayer to once again punch it through on that right side. And that'll bring up Cliff Remley. Remley 1 for 4 with a double. He also scored in the 5th. Remley followed by Tim Duff, who's in the on-deck circle. Rowe comes set at the waist, kicks and pitches. The pitch is lined into left field. That's going to score a run as Rodriguez steps across the plate. Remley with an RBI single to left has got back that run the Angels gave up in the top half of the 7th. They now lead 10-3. as Caleb Mayer steps into second base. Remley with his second hit of the night and his first RBI. Timmy Duff coming to the plate. Duff with a pair of singles is 2 for 4 on the night. He also drove in a run and scored a run as he swings and misses. Strike one. In fact, every Angel that came to the plate in the lineup scored at least once in the fifth. From Richard Giannotti all the way through to Mike Perdomo, 1-9 in that inning scored. They were unable to get any more after that, but so far it's looking like it's going to do the job as Duff looks at a called strike two that was just south of the parking lot. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners at first and second for the Angels, who have brought one more across the board and now lead 10-3. Action going in the Chukars bullpen. We'll wait to see who that is. The pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So the Angels do manage to bring one more across the plate. They now lead 10-3. We'll be back with Provo Angels baseball on SportsJuice.com. Welcome back to Angels baseball. We're in the top of the 8th. The Angels with a 10-3 lead. Billy Butler stepping to the plate. Butler has a single and a double. Is 2 for 3. The pitch from Edwards is lifted into left field. That's going to fall for extra bases as Mike Perdomo runs over and cuts it off. It bounces off his knee. Butler will head into second base with a stand-up double. So Butler really abusing that left field line tonight. I'll bring up Brian McFall. McFall 0 for 2 with a walk. As McFall, another league leader in hitting. Went 363 on the air as he looks at a called strike one. Butler a full 10 points ahead of his next closest teammate. McFall, 363 with 14 home runs and 68 RBI. The 0-1 is grounded down the third baseline, foul. And there are now no balls and 2 strikes. So a few Chukars fans in the crowd tonight encouraging McFall to straighten it out. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way is fouled back off the glass of the press box. Hope everybody over there was okay, and it looks like they were. No balls, 2 strikes, no out. Billy Edwards on the mound. Billy Butler at second. The pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. As McFall goes down chasing a pitch out of the strike zone. A beautiful breaking ball by Edwards. Bring Mario Lison to the plate. 0 for 2 on the night for Lison with a strikeout, a ground out, and he walked back in the second inning. Edwards comes set. The pitch on the way. Misses inside. Ball 1 as Lison dances out of the way. Edwards getting his sign from Duff. Is set. Looks at second. The pitch lifted high into right field. Going back is J.R. Rentz. He will be back at the warning track and reach up and make the catch at the wall. The runner will move over to third, but there are now 2 out as Lison will pick up a sacrifice fly. Lison a few feet from going yard as Renz makes the catch on the yellow line that lines the outfield wall just against the Give Me a Call wireless sign just in straight away right field. The pitch on the way to Eddie Solis, grounded foul into the Angels dugout. No balls and 1 strike. Solis 2 for 3 with a single, a home run, and a strikeout. For 5 innings, it looked like Solis would be the player of the game for the Chukars. This is home run had given the Chukars a 1-0 lead. The pitch is taken down low, ball 1. But some timely hitting with runners in scoring position has given the Angels a 10-3 lead. Big curveball catches the inside part of the plate for a called strike 2. Edwards already with 1 strikeout here in the 8th. Comes set, the pitch on the way. Lined into left field for a base hit. That'll score a run. As Butler will come across home plate. Solis stands at first with an RBI single. And it's now a 10-4 ball game. Zeke Zimmerman will run out to talk with Edwards. Make sure that things are kosher. 10 runs on 16 hits and an error for the Angels. 4 runs on 9 hits and an error for the Chukars. Of course, both teams battling right now for the right to play Billings in the league championship. Billings sweeping Great Falls, winning Game 1 7-2 on September 7th last night, taking Game 2 9-4. The pitch on the way from Edwards is a little fly ball pop-up that Edwards catches coming off the mound, so the Chukars pick up 1 more. We head to the bottom of the 8th. The Angels lead 10-4. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball. And nice little gesture right there. Tom Kochman just went out and gave Billy Edwards a nice handshake as Edwards came in and shut the Chukars down, giving the Angels a chance to win tonight's ball game. You're listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. welcome you back to Provo Angels Baseball. We're live from Larry H. Miller Field in Provo, Utah, as J.R. Wren set to start things off for the Angels. They lead 10-4 in the bottom of the eighth. Now on the hill for the Chukars, number 13, Zane Carlson, their closer, as Wren fouls the first pitch back out of play. Carlson on the year, 2-1 with a 4.50 ERA. He was second in the league with 10 saves to Mitch Arnold. Opponents hit .244 against him. He had 13 walks and 30 strikeouts. The 0-1 to Renz is grounded hard to Geraldo Valentin at short to throw across the diamond in time, and Renz is retired 6-3. So Mike Perdomo, who has provided some fireworks both from the plate and also some solid defense in the outfield tonight, throwing out Billy Butler at a time when that was an important run. Comes to the plate and takes strike one on the inside corner. It's still an important run. I mean, it's only a 6-run game, but at the time the Angels were trailing 2-0. The pitch from Carlson is swung on and fouled out of play. And the count moves to 0-2. Richard Giannotti in the on-deck circle. The Angels will head to the top of the ninth with a 10-4 lead, perhaps more, as Perdomo swings and misses strike three, excuse me. He is tagged out on the play by catcher Del Rosario. That'll bring Richard Giannotti to the plate. Giannotti 1 for 4. He started the big rally with a little base hit, and it just kept going from there. The pitch from Carlson, taken outside, ball one. Giannotti again from the left side of the plate against the right-handed closer. Ball two down low, as Giannotti is patient at the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. The center fielder, Richard Giannotti. Zane Carlson on the hill for the Chukars, trying to bring them back. He catches the corner with a strike. Called strike one. 2 balls and 1 strike in the count. 2 out. Angels up 10-4 in Game 3 of this playoff series. This game decides who plays Billings in the championship round, as Giannotti looks at ball 3 down low. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Alexi Casilla in the on-deck circle for the Angels. Carlson will flip the ball back to catcher Del Rosario, as the home plate umpire is asking for the ball back. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Angels lead 10-4. The pitch, ball 4, and Giannotti draws a 2-out walk. Every little bit helps here, as the Angels know full well the offensive capabilities of the Chukars, who scored 10 unanswered runs to cut a 14-3 lead into 14-13 lead. The Angels are able to hold on there, however, certainly not wanting to risk anything here tonight. Fred Carney and Mitch Arnold throwing in the bullpen. Now it's Mitch Arnold up with Zeke Zimmerman talking to him. Arnold, the big closer for the Angels, as Alexi Casilla looks at ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 out. Alexi Casilla at the plate with Richard Giannotti at first. The pitch is slapped to the left side. Valentin will take it and go to second for the force, but Giannotti is safe, as second baseman Eddie Solis could not hold on to the ball. And fans getting excited as they see an opportunity to do to get things going again. So E4 will allow Giannotti to step on second base safely. That'll bring Nate Sutton 4 for 5 on the night, as Sutton with a strikeout. The pitch on the way. Carlson, he grounds it to the second baseman, Solis. He'll step and throw to first. The ball is picked out of the dirt by Brad Hayes for out number 3. We head to the top of the ninth. The Angels 3 outs away from clinching the South Division and heading to the championship series. You're listening to Provo Angels on SportsJuice.com. Welcome everybody back to the top of the ninth. The Angels lead 10-4 with Fred Carney now on the hill for the Angels. Bill Edwards, a strong performance. He is in line to pick up the win tonight. Carney 1-1 on the regular season with a 5.10 ERA. Has not pitched in the playoffs. The first pitch is grounded to Sean Rodriguez. He'll play it on one hop and fire across the diamond for the first out of the inning. And Del Rosario, the victim of out number one. Chukars down to 2 outs. Geraldo Valentin, 2 for 4 with a double and a single, comes to the plate. Carney starts the windup. The pitch catches the outside corner, called strike one. Carney with his crazy curly hair coming out of his hat, wears his socks up high, and has been a valuable reliever out of Regis University in Colorado. The 0-1 misses outside. 1-1 now the count. So should the Angels hold on to this lead here, we will head to Billings tomorrow, where Game 1 will be played Saturday night. You can tune in to SportsJuice.com as Carney paints the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We'll get the official start time, and I will post that as soon as I find out. Carney gets his sign and agrees with Tim Duff. Starts his windup. The pitch on the way. Swinging lined up the middle to center field as Carney has to duck out of the way of that one. Giannotti will reel it in. And Valentin has his 3rd hit of the night, his 2nd single. Brad Hayes now stepping to the plate. 0 for 3 on the night is Hayes. He walked in the 1st inning. Pair of ground outs in the 3rd and the 5th, and struck out swinging in the 7th. So tomorrow, if the Angels do hold on, tomorrow is a travel day to Billings. Game 1 will be played Saturday night. Sunday is a travel day. Monday the 13th will be a game day here in Provo, and if needed, Tuesday, September 14th. Now batting for the Idaho Falls Chukars, pinch hitting for Brad Hayes is number 23, Matt Ferrara. Ferrara 290 on the regular season. It's 3 home runs and 19 RBIs. The pitch from Carney is lifted into center field. Giannotti will come on and have to let it fall in front for a base hit. So Ferrara getting the job done. And the Chukars have a little something going here in the ninth. They trail 10-4. They now have runners at first and second with 1 out. And Alexander Bautista coming to the plate. Bautista's 0 for 4. 4 on the night with a pair of strikeouts and a pair of groundouts. Runners at first and second. Carney comes set. The pitch. High ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. Angels with a 10-4 lead. Mitch Arnold still throwing in the bullpen as Carney looks over his shoulder at second. The pitch. Catches the outside corner. Called strike 1. So all games for the championship series, if played, will be available on sportsjuice.com. Both home and away. The pitch from Carney. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 as Bautista's way out in front of a curveball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Angels 10 runs on 16 hits and an error. Chukars 4 runs on 11 hits and 2 errors. Carney gets his sign. Comes set. Kicks and the pitch. Swing and a foul tip caught by Tim Duff. Key play there by catcher Tim Duff as he holds on to the ball for out number 2. And that'll bring the last out as the fans need to get on their feet here. Billy Butler coming to the plate. Butler, big night. A double and 2 doubles and a single. Carney looks over his shoulder. Kicks and delivers. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. To the last opportunity for the Chukars, Billy Butler. Runners at first and second. The Angels up 10-4. Carney misses outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Brian McFall stands in the on-deck circle. Carney comes set, looks at his shoulder. The kick, the pitch, just outside, 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Billy Butler. The Angels lead 10-4. Certainly not going to give anything to Butler. He can pull. He is really damaged the left field line tonight. The 2-1 on the way. Misses outside, ball 3. Were it not for a great throw by Mike Perdomo, Butler would be looking at 3 doubles on the night. All 3 of them pounded down the left field line. The 3-1 from Fred Carney. The kick and the pitch lifted high into center field. Going back is Richard Giannotti. He's going to look up, and that ball is gone. A 3-run shot has pulled the Chukars to within 3. So Billy Butler doing his part here tonight. Angels now lead 10-7. Ferrara scores, Valentine scores. And Butler comes across the plate, and it's now a 10-7 game. Manager Tom Kochman's going to go out. It'll be the end of the night for Fred Carney. And it looks like they're going to bring in closer Mitch Arnold to get out number 3. Carney gets a nice ovation from the fans. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Angels Baseball on sportsjuice.com. Welcome back to Provo Angels baseball. We're in the top of the ninth. The Angels now lead 10-7 thanks to a 3-run home run by Billy Butler, clearing the bases and cutting the Angels' lead to 3. On to pitch now for the Angels is closer Mitch Arnold. Finished the regular season 2-0 with a 2.48 ERA, 13 saves to lead the league, and opponents only hit 112 against him. He has picked up 1 save here in this series, saving game number 1. The pitch to McFall, swung and fouled back to the screen for a strike. 0-1 to McFall. McFall on the night. 0 for 3. He walked back in the 4th inning. He's also struck out, popped up to the shortstop, and grounded out to Nate Sutton. The 0-1 from Arnold. Down low, ball 1. Arnold. 6'9", 230 pounds. Certainly a presence on the mound. The pitch. Grounded to the shortstop, Sean Rodriguez. He picks it up and fires across the diamond for the 3rd out, and the Angels are the Southern Division champions of the Pioneer League. We will head to Billings tomorrow for Game 1 on Saturday night. The Provo Angels win 10-7 in Game 3, clinching the Southern Division. 10 runs on 16 hits and an error for the Angels. 7 runs on 12 hits and 2 errors for the Chukars. The Angels pull it out in Game 3 in dramatic fashion. We'll be back. We'll have the day off tomorrow. We'll be back Saturday night. Broadcast starting at 6:55 from Billings, Montana. That's 6:55 Mountain Standard Time, 8:55 Eastern Standard Time. The Provo Angels to take on the North Division champions, Billings Mustangs. Once again, the Provo Angels win the Pioneer League Southern Division. As is the case, they were the regular season champions and now are the playoff champions. We'll head to Billings, Montana to try to win a Pioneer League championship. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to Provo Angels Baseball on SportsJuice.com. We'll talk to you on Saturday with Championship Round Game 1.